Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Air Vice Marshal Barbara Courtney. We warmly welcome the family of Private Albert Herculean Augustus Pearce, who are watching the live stream of this evening's ceremony. His story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those who are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony from across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's first World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Albert Herculean Augustus Pearce. Albert Pearce was born on the 7th of May 1887 in Hobart, one of 8 children born to George and Annie Pearce. He received his education at Hobart State School before moving to New Zealand in search of work. There he met Ivy Nelder, who he married in 1910. The couple later moved to Tasmania, where they settled in Moona near Hobart, having 2 children, Albert Edward George and Ivy Annie Louisa. When war broke out in 1914, Albert was working as a builder's labourer in Hobart. Albert Pearce enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 20th of March 1915, joining the newly raised 40th Battalion, which was comprised of Tasmanian volunteers. Assigned the rank of private, Pearce embarked from Hobart on board the troopship Berrima on the 1st of July 1916. During the voyage, Pearce's comrade Signaller Biggs wrote in a letter home to his family, "The spirit among us all is nothing if not optimistic regarding our future. And Tasmania may rest assured that the pride she cherishes in her battalion will not have been misplaced, and that as a body, we hope to bring undying glory upon the Garden of the South." Private Pearce reached England in September and spent a number of months in training with his battalion. In November 1916, Pearce's battalion reached the Western Front during the coldest winter of a generation. There, they were introduced to life in the trenches around the French village of Armentières. The 40th Battalion continued serving around this section of the front into early 1917, where their trenches were subjected to enemy raids, heavy shelling, machine gun and rifle fire. On the 7th of January 1917, Private Pearce was serving in the front lines when the enemy began to shell the trenches. More than 58 shells fell in a matter of hours, causing multiple casualties for the battalion. Among the dead was Private Albert Pearce, who was hit and killed instantly by enemy shell fire. He was 29 years old. He was buried nearby at the Cite-Bonjon Military Cemetery, where he lies today. His wife Ivy died in 1992, having never remarried after losing Albert more than 75 years earlier. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst the almost 62,000 people who have died while serving in the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Albert Herculean Augustus Pearce, who gave his life for us, for our freedom, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you all for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.